Urufu Qalqala. But first, let's define what is Qalqala. Now, this definition says that Qalqala is a term for the science of Tajweed. So it's one of the important rules of science of Tajweed, which is a disturbance in the tone of the voice and when speaking of the consonant until a strong tone is added. Now, there is a reason for these letters to have this kind of characteristic, and I will explain the reading in few slides to this time. Now, but what we need to know is that there is a kind of an unusual sound that we give to this letter whenever they have sukun. Now, let me go back to the previous example I gave. You will notice that when I read this place, I said Adebaro. That's Ade. It's not that fatha dal kesro, they are not that do. So where does that day sound come from? So it's because this dal has sukun. So you don't say ad baro, just like we have been reading before, ad baro. Now we still take more example, but I just want to quickly show us that so that we'll get a quick understanding of what I've been explaining. Now these are the letters. They are just 5 letters. Qaf, Ta, Ba, Jim, and Dal. Qaf, Ta, Ba, Jim, and Dal. Now there is an acronym for this which we are going to learn in few slides to this, but just note the letter Qaf, Ta, Ba, Jim, Dal. Qa, Ta, Ba, Jim, Dal. Whenever they have sukun, they used to have this echoing sound on them. Now these letters, the Dal, Jim, Ba, Ta, and Qaf, if any of the letter of Qalqala appear with sukun, it will be read with an echoing sound. That's an echoing sound, whether it be in the middle or in the end of the word. Now, in the end, it probably might not. That's why we learn that principle. It probably might not have a sukun at the end. But because of the principle of the Arab that said we need to end every letter, that the last letter we want to pronounce, with a sukun. So even if it doesn't have sukun, so it means we are going to apply sukun to that letter. So we are going to apply sukun to that particular letter. Now let's now look how letters, why Qalqala? What is the reason for this particular nature of this letter? So the reason is one of it is how letters are being formed, and then the point of articulation of this letter. Now there is a point where this letter is articulating from. Now I've actually mentioned in previous classes that we have different points of articulation, just like ba. Now a quick example is to use nun. Nun used to come out from the nose. If you close your nose, you definitely will not be able to call nun. You can try it out, it doesn't hurt. Now ba comes from the mouth here, just like you see. Ba is one of the letters that come from the lips here. If you close your lips, you will not be able to or you hold one of your lips, you will not be able to pronounce ba. Just try it and see. Why? If you try it with other letters, you might be able to pronounce it because they are not coming out from the lips. So that's to tell you that there are points of articulation where letters form from. Now because these letters of Qalqala, these are the Qaf, Ta, Ba, Jim, Dal. Quts Bujid, Dal. So that's what calling Qaf, Ta, Ba, Jim, Dal. So the acronym is Qutbu Jaddi, Qutbu Jaddi, Qutbu Jaddi. So that's the short acronyms that we use for them. So Qaf, Ta, Ba, Jim, Qutbu Jaddi. Qaf, Ta, Ba, Jim. Now how are these letters called? Echo, if it's Qaf and it has sukun. Ako, Iko, Uko, Ato, Ito, Uto, Abe, Ibe, Ube, Aje, Ije, Uje, Ade, Ide, Ude, Ako, Iko, Uko, Ato, Ito, Uto, Abe, Ibe, Ube, Aje, Ije, Uje, Ade, Ide, Ude. So these letters, that is the kind of sound that they used to have whenever they ask sukun. So you don't say ak or at or ab or aj or ad, just like we have learned in other letters for sukun. Because if you say that, the pronunciation will definitely be wrong. So we will do several examples we read, which we are going to read before we move on to the next topic, inshallah, in our previous class, in our coming classes. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.